It all depends on this Rayquaza fight. From the top, majority of the players of MARCOS are going to be there. From the sides, it's going to be True Rippers. Player Rex immediately check on the tall grasses, comes into the slam, hits with a block, and look at the position. Dakshish is revealed. They're going in for another slam. A big use of, I think, a psychic was used over there. Dakshish super low. They're trying to use Unite as well, but every player runs away from the Unite. Delphox comes on with the fireworks of their own, but that also does not connect with everybody. 2 Unites have gone in vain. One from the side of MARCOS, one from the side of True Rippers, but there's still a couple of Unites. Wait, actually no, there was not a Unite used, my bad. I thought the Psyshock was in Unite, but in the meantime again, Gravity being used, trying to make life tough. Dux is again super low. It's a 1v1 situation. Walk needs to understand he's a range attacker, he's going to be squishy. He tried his best, Dragapult helped him, and finally Dux gets eliminated. This can be the game changer, but Walk, he was targeted. Look at how low he's taken, but Kyurem is still there, going to be healing him up, but the Delphox still trying to find a way. Rayquaza in the meantime has been drained to half of the health. This is going to be super crucial. True Rippers need to pay attention. Majority of the players were sent back to their bases, and with just 20% of the health, it looks like this is a deal sealed for none other than MARCOS Gaming.
They are running away, they're running away, they need to go for those goals, they need to go for those goals, and they definitely will. I believe MARCOS Gaming is going to be looking happier than ever right now as they are getting those numbers up, 100 plus coming up for them, but this time 385. Come on, let it happen for themselves. On the other side, True Rippers with 267, but I don't think that's going to be enough at all. With 30 seconds on the clock, how far can they go? That is the only question. We still have to look forward to and understand what is happening as MARCOS Gaming with 385 is looking extremely strong for themselves. But True Rippers, it was so close. But is that enough or is that not? As we see a 500 plus bomber coming up for MARCOS, they are increasing it, and this is looking stronger than ever.
True Rippers tried one last push. They went for the bottom lane. 3 players you can see are still pushing towards the bases of MARCOS. But having this Rayquaza advantage, I don't think they'll be able to climb up. It was a 500 from their 200 mark. Maximum they would have been able to reach 300 or 400. But reaching 500 would be tough. Oh, look at this. They reached 400. But what did MARCOS do? They pushed it to 700 from 500 in the last 10 seconds. The team which lost the first game, Ocean, are swooped back in and get this best of 3 under control. MARCOS, what a play.
I mean, just think about it, right? Last week, True Rippers is something that we were talking about as a wild card, right? They did not play in that LAN, so we did not know what they are bringing to the table. True Rippers won against God's Reign, the champions of the LAN. Then we were talking about teams like SATL and Revenant, right? Both the teams are obviously really fan favorite, and Revenant just swoops in. This time MARCOS Gaming comes up and they play their first game. This week was the first game that they played, and now they swoop in as a victory.
And I think it needs to be given credits to that double ranged attacker play coming in, Volk as well as Miriam. First it was a Gardevoir and Delphox, then it was a Gardevoir and then Dragapult coming through. Brilliant play coming in. And on top of it is Kyurem. Kyurem was always there when the team needed healing. In that Rayquaza battle, there were scenarios there where Walk could have been knocked out, but Kyurem was there to save the day. Rex also trying to push them back, and that's the reason we end up seeing that MARCOS are able to get this victory, and they just eliminated every player who tried to push up and tried to deny them from taking the Rayquaza. And also how well MARCOS planned the Rayquaza fight. They knew which players can take damage, tank it upon themselves. They sent them to the Rayquaza pit, told them to fight. The other players were surrounding the Rayquaza pit and trying to fight with the players of True Rippers and sending them back to their bases.
This was an interesting fight, overall. This was an interesting game overall. This is the way we have seen it happen, to be very honest. Fairly honest, if I just, be with you on this one. Look at that. For first 2 minutes, it's close. Then, for the first 4 minutes, it's close. First 6 minutes is close. First 8 minutes is close. And then comes the final stretch. And that's where the tides just turn. Like, no one could have predicted this change even till the first 8-minute marker. For first 8 minutes, if you were a viewer, you could not have figured out who will win and how will they get that win for themselves.
Exactly. You see in the 8th minute mark, it's 187 and 185 until close to 9 minutes as well. It was still 185 and 187. When Rayquaza was taken, that's when both of the team sides started ending up pushing up to the goal zones and started getting scores dunked in. I think one thing that True Rippers did when the Rayquaza fight was going on, a couple of the players went and pushed to the goal zones of MARCOS' end and got goals scored in. We saw 200 around when Rayquaza was about to be knocked out, and I think that decision of sending a couple of players to get goals scored made them lesser members to be available at the Rayquaza pit or the legendary pit. Therefore, they did not have control, and one after another, they got delivered knockouts.
I mean, that was definitely insane the way, it was just put forward, if we just talk about it. But the way these players have played, it was just out of the bounds. For a long time, this was a scoreline that we were witnessing, right? 187 to 185. But then they waited. I remember them starting to wait at 2-minute 30-second mark. So they waited for a good 30 seconds for the Rayquaza to appear. And then they were like, let's take up the fight. MARCOS Gaming got it for themselves, went on it, went for the hoops, got the goals, which was needed. And well, at the end, MARCOS Gaming, they get a 2-1 for themselves. Once again, they lost the first game.